Hey, welcome. It's Trevor. We're going to jump right in and we'll get right to it because I'm sure you're a little bit intrigued. You know, the best and worst time to start a business, why I would start out a class like that, teaching new business owners. I do it because I truly believe it. I mean, in some instances, this is the best time in the world to start a business, and it seems like in other scenarios, it could be the worst, depending on what you're doing, you know, maybe what industry, what niche, what vertical, or even your experiences or what type of business you want to have. All that is kind of up in the air. But let's jump right in. Over here on the left, you're going to see the outline, kind of what I'm going to try to follow, go off script a little bit, and I'm going to try to get through this as fast as humanly possible. And on the right, you're going to see the slides as we kind of fly through it. So getting started, why is this the best? Simple. Today is the time where there's more resources, more tools, the technological landscape for you to have all the things you need to grow and scale and be successful with a business has never been better. You know, additionally, I mean, this is just all of the tools that through a marketing perspective. I mean, you got everything here. You name it, there's a tool that will help you do it, that can make your life easier, save you time, maybe save you money, maybe not, depending on the tool. But at the end of the day, you have a lot going on, a lot more innovation. You can see how that growth, I mean, from 150 to 5,000 different marketing technology tools. Moving through too, you got things like the cloud, you have social media channels, like that's all new stuff that they didn't have 30 years ago. New ways to get in front of your clients, your customers. You know, you could be, if you're selling arts and crafts, you could be on Etsy, Pinterest. If you're selling t-shirts, you could be doing Instagram, Shopify store. All that kind of stuff is new stuff that is powerful. And also, like, I mean, there's companies today that didn't exist in the past. I mean, crowdfunding to start your project, your business, just maybe wasn't an option in the past. And now you have different industries like Airbnb, you have iPad, like actual physical technologies and Square readers, like things. And Instagram I love because I just see so many people that can jump on Instagram with a Shopify store, and in a couple minutes they can be up and running selling stuff. And it's just cool because Instagram's a great fit for that audience of people that are into like maybe fashion, things like that. So that kind of hits the why it's good. Let's jump into the why it's not so good. The first thing I always hit, because I gotta like, you know, just throw it out there, is like, listen, there's more people doing business today. There's more competition. There's more businesses being started. You know, like it is that there's more people, more competitors out there in the market today. So it's important that we stand out and that we're different, and that in that competition that there's a reason you're better. And then, you know, the statistics, these are not new, but at the end of the day, like the deck's kind of already stacked against your average business owner on the ground. You know, and like the chance of you being in business 10 years from now is lower. And, you know, here's some of the top reasons that businesses fail. The one I wanted to just kind of highlight is this 82% because of cash flow. We're going to hit that again here in a couple minutes. Here's some more reasons, you know, kind of going through like why they kind of fail, some of the things that go wrong. And then here's another big challenge. It's kind of attention span. I mean, there's so much clutter, so many things going on, so many offers, so many things in the Facebook news feed, so many like different options. You know, if it's just confusing, it's tough. There's people have a short attention span. They're constantly on their phone. They're looking down. They're up. They're standing in line on their phone. And you know, Microsoft did a survey that apparently we don't have the attention span of even a goldfish. You know, and then, you know, there's a lot of, you know, studies out there, and how many brands, looks like 10,000 brand messages today get presented to people, and then they're switching screens 21 times an hour. You know, it just kind of all goes back to that, like, people, it's tough today with people because they're so distracted. Now, in the past, it's been, you know, with digital kind of stuff, it was easy just to go buy clicks from, like, AdWords, and it was cheap. Well, now we're seeing where, you know, 12% increase in the spend going on, and that's not resulting in any more like clicks. You know, it's actually people are spending more and getting less with traffic sources like an AdWords that they had in the past. That was kind of, a lot of businesses were built on an AdWords model where that's how they get people to their business. Here's another one that I pulled in a screenshot about millennials, you know, who are the biggest audience of buyers today, and the fact that they kind of have a short attention span as well, kind of going back to the other one. And then what I want to also highlight is that that biggest audience of buyers, and pretty much everybody today, you got to start transitioning your mindset from thinking about them finding you online on a computer to them finding you on their smartphone. And that smartphone being dependent, like that search result that shows up being dependent on where they're actually physically located. And then, attention span, here's another one going back to that kind of mobile I was just talking about. Like, if you're not thinking of how to get in front of my clients with the mindset of that they're going to find me on their phone, you might miss that, if your page doesn't load fast when they find your website on their phone, they'll back out of it if it takes more than 3 seconds to load. So that would stink that if they find you that they back right out. Here's another big challenge that we're seeing and hearing from all of our folks on the ground is that, including our own situation with our own clinics that we own and our own business here in Denver, it's hard to find good talent and keep them. And there's a cost. If you're saying here you're out like 6 to 9 months salary on average to bring someone else on board to replace that person. So, and I see this with a lot of people I know that are in corporate America where, they have this huge pain around employee engagement, employee retention, like attracting talented millennials, going back to millennials. But yeah, this is going to be a challenge. And the way that kind of to help, like, how do we, recommend people solve this when we're talking with them? You have to be a leader in your company if you want to attract, inspired millennials to come, work with you. But also you need to look for ways to make the environment, the culture attractive, like whether that's great benefits, which there's so many different healthcare companies out there that are, being aggressively, they're discounting their services for people that are healthy. One that we kind of leverage is Redirect Health, and their model is extremely affordable for us to provide to our employees. And that's just a great resource to kind of help attract better, more talented folks. Here's more, kind of data points talking about that pain point of hiring and getting your team. And here's some great things about investing in them and their training, their benefits, things like that, you're going to make them want to be a part of your company, even if they have a better option to maybe make more money somewhere else. All right, the government, it's tough because, the money you do make, they take a chunk of it. And it's kind of rough some days because that they're not necessarily out there grinding all day, every day to make that money. So that kind of covers some of the big challenges and some ways that you can overcome them. Great tips for overcoming the federal taxes. I'm not a tax expert. I just know that if you're meticulous in how you manage the money that comes in and the expenses, and you look for ways that you can kind of, shelter yourself from any kind of tax liability, and you deal with, maybe tax attorney or accountant, then you can find ways to kind of preserve as much of that money for your company. But going back, so that's the best and the worst about owning a business today. We kind of got down through here. One thing we didn't talk, we did. And then customer loyalty and employee retention. Okay. So what's the one thing we can do to overcome all of this? So what I want to explain in this concept when I'm teaching is huge, is that the thing that's going to put you out of business faster than anything is this cash flow, which if your cash flow is hurting, chances are that you're bleeding money out somewhere that maybe you shouldn't, but also you're not generating enough sales and revenue. And so when we always ask ourselves and our team, we're always asking what's the one thing we can do that will make the difference with this, that will, be the lead domino that falls over, that will then create a chain reaction of other things happening that are positive. Well, this is it. When we solve the cash flow problem, we then open up the floodgates and solve a bunch of other problems, because what ends up happening is if you're able to generate the sales and the revenue that you want, and you can grow and get more of that coming in, you then have the ability to solve a bunch of other pain points. And what I mean by that is you have the ability to invest in finding talented people, or have a company that you can pay for now take over your payroll so you're not stressed with paperwork. So you have more free time and you can get your life back. If you're like I was in my first year of business, where I just had no life and worked all the time, and it all starts with this cash flow solution. How do we get the sales, the revenue that we need to make a difference, that we can then invest in other things? We can have the time and the space to get the things we want to get done to help scale and grow the business to what we kind of envisioned when we started it. And so, this is what we always teach and recommend, is that, our people today, listen, there's a lot of things you can do, and I see this all the time where it's just overwhelming, all the things you could do to get new clients today. Like, you'll have people telling you need to write blog posts. You'll have people telling you need to be on Facebook or Pinterest or Yelp or you name it, whatever. And it honestly is all situation dependent. But for my average local business owner on the ground, I always show them this diagram because this is the AdWords. This is where, you're buying to get that click. And today that cost is higher and you get less of those clicks. This is the organic search engine optimization, SEO, what used to be the thing that everybody wanted. Well, today it's tough because you have big players that occupy these spots like Home Advisor, you name it. But what we always teach our folks is right here. This is your sweet spot. We call this like a hyperlocal approach because this search result is based on how close that person searching is to you. And these are the local mobile searches. And those matter because today we know more people search on their phone than anything else, and it's only increasing. And on top of that, we also know that 78% of those local mobile searches result in offline purchases, meaning these clicks here, 78% of those result in people taking action. And it makes sense, and just think of it through the lens of when you need something locally, like a plumber, you name it, your back pain, tattoo removal, best restaurant, pizza restaurant, you pull out your phone and you look for it. And showing up in this, that's the ticket. What we've seen happen is that kicks off your chain reaction. Because if this gets you, depending on your niche or industry, 20 new clients a month, that opens the floodgates for everything else, for you to invest in all kinds of other stuff. So, hey, it was great talking. Like anything with Strattex, if you have questions, you need help, you want to schedule a one-on-one with one of our experts, just go below and click and we'll get you set up. Thanks. Have a great, wonderful day.